Only fitting that the clinching game of the series was by far the best game of the series. So much respect between these two clubs. But it's the Florida Panthers, Sergei Bobrovsky and company, headed to the Stanley Cup Final for a third straight year. It's the NHL on TNT Postgame show presented by Vanda Pharmaceuticals. Nobody's touching that trophy. They're playing for the Cup. We'll see who they take on. Liam McHugh, Paul Bizanet, Coach Rick Bowness, Anson Carter, Henrik Lundqvist. 4 teams, 4 franchises since 1980 have gone to back-to-back-to-back Stanley Cup Finals. You have the Islanders and the Oilers, who overlapped in the 80s. You have Tampa Bay Lightning, and now you have this Florida Panthers team. We're going to talk to Matthew Tkachuk in just a bit, but I'll start with you, Hank. Your thoughts on what we just saw?
Well, they've been the best team in the playoffs so far. When you look at all the aspects of the game, how physical they can play, how technical, skilled they can play, everything is just at another level. And to me, after the game, that sums it up for me. There's not a lot of celebration. There's not a lot of smiles. It's just, okay, this was one more series. We got one more series closer to where we need to be, almost like they have this feeling of where we should be. They have that confidence. They don't panic. They go behind, 2-0 in this game. I thought it was they didn't create much, but that penalty in the second period kind of turned this game, if you ask me. But that's what they do. They give someone give up something, that they're there to strike right away. They've been doing it all year long, and especially in the playoffs. But impressive team, impressive effort.
And if you watch their big boys all over that stat sheet, Barkov, Verhaeghe, Reinhart, I thought it was a great little swap. No, Coach, you could appreciate that. Rodriguez being swapped out for Verhaeghe late in the game there, and then Barkov making the nice play from behind the net. I mean, his offensive ability, just because he's so good defensively, I think offensively, he's still very underrated offensively. The little plays that he makes at that size, he reminds me a little bit of Mario Lemieux, using that reach and that size to hold guys off, and then the nice little touch to put the puck in the right place. Like, he didn't pass it too hard, not too soft, and gives Verhaeghe just enough time to get from behind that goal line and put the puck top shelf.
He's a franchise player, there's no question, and he leads by example on the ice. He's probably a very quiet individual, just watching him on the bench and watching him on the ice, but he leads by example. And he's a big, strong, physical guy, and he is, and he's so hard to play against. Like, that team is, you're right, to me that was the better team. They deserve to win the series. They find ways to win, because they win in different ways. They can grind it out. They have the skill. They scored the big power play goal tonight. They know how to win. They've got the goalie. They've got the size. And they're nasty, right? They are. And they know how to play. And they know how to raise their game at the right time, which they did. As soon as that got 3-3, they took that game to another level, and they did. And so they deserve to win. But Barkov is the leader of all the things we just talked about. Barkov is the leader without a doubt.
Yeah, Florida's just so good. I mean, Carolina didn't really have the luxury to make any mistakes or unforced errors. We saw it at the end of Game 3 in that third period, and much like halfway through the second period, they had full control, right? And then they make that one little mistake, or maybe call it the ref getting in the way, either way, and then all of a sudden, within a 4-minute span, the game gets turned on a dime. So that's just how Florida can kill you if you make those unforced errors. And I actually thought tonight was probably one of the better performances we've seen from Carolina all playoff long. It just so happens they're playing the Florida Panthers, and they'll make you pay.
Let's take a closer look at what Barkov did in this game, because Paul Maurice talks about how he sets the tone, but it doesn't have to be vocal about it. It's just every little detail about his game, and it starts that first goal.
Yeah, and it doesn't even have to be on the score sheet. I mean, that goal, that turnover he causes on Martinook, he's the one pinching down. I mean, you're going to see it right here, like just an incredible read to come down this wall and not really give Martinook an opportunity to clear that puck and get full control. And then all of a sudden they get working from there. And let's talk about other ways he can impact the game. 62% in the dot. They were losing every faceoff, it felt like, in that first period. And then all of a sudden they end up leaning on him. And speaking of shorthanded as well, 7 for 9 in the dot in that situation. And then this is just incredible effort right here. He beats Orlov, a big, strong defenseman. He ends up seeing that Robinson gets sucked in and really has a stick in the wrong place. And Ace, you talked about him putting it in this area. Like, this is just an incredible pass. He doesn't have much time to get it done, but he uses a perfect amount of speed to get it to Verhaeghe, he can just step into it, and then it's a roof job there.
Yeah, he sells going behind the net to Robinson. He bites hard, and he didn't have enough touch on that. That puck is right past Verhaeghe. So he gets it hard enough so it gets past the netminder, Freddie Anderson, but enough velocity there so it gets to Verhaeghe with enough time so Anderson can't get across to make that saves. I always think about the conversation I have with Keith Yandel. Yan's played in Florida, and I was like, Yan's, like, who are the top guys down there? Barkey, by far. You know, Yan's a joker. You can never take him seriously half the time. Well, he was dead serious. He's like, Barkey by far. He's so easy to play with, and he makes everyone look way better than they really are when you're playing with him.
He has him as the second best player in the league outside of McDavid, and he swears by it. And I mean, game in and game out, whether it's on the score sheet or not, he affects the game in positive ways, and it's just remarkable to watch in most cases.
Yeah, but again, give Paul credit for making that switch, putting Verhaeghe up there, and those are the game within the game, the adjustments that coaches have to make. I like the adjustment Roddy made going into the game. Yeah, he went head to head with Aho against Barkov. Now you've got Reinhart and Barkov, two guys up for the Selke. Rarely do you want to see your best line go head-to-head with them, but he had no fear doing it, and they scored the 3 goals for Carolina tonight. So I like that matchup, and I loved what Paul did. So the game within the game, you watch the adjustments, the matchups the coaches make. I always look at that, and I thought both coaches were great tonight. Yeah.
And, going back to the winning goal by Verhaeghe, though, you call it duplication
yeah.
Where you have two guys doing the same thing. You saw it on the one where Martinook and Nikishin get sucked in, ends up being a 3-on-1. And here you're going to look at it again from a different angle where Robinson's down low, and right there, like, he doesn't need to go there. The behind the net pass is not the threat. Out in front of the net is. Watch this right here. You're going to see the other angle. Like, there's no need to worry about intercepting that pass. And when you lean in like that and you reach from Robinson, all of a sudden all your momentum is going to take you to the wall, and that's why Barkov's just able to go to his backhand. All of a sudden you see 4 guys close in on him, and he's got that perfect gap in order to slide that over on his backhand. So it's tough, though. With man-on-man, you're down low. Robinson's a winger. All of a sudden he's in a place where he's not used to being, and he makes one quick split wrong decision, and all of a sudden that fourth line, who had an incredible game, ends up eating a minus.
Yeah, but if you're going to have duplication, you better make sure you end the play. You do, because somebody's got to be open. You got 2 guys going to 1 guy. Somebody's got to be open, and it's another example of the basic fundamentals of the game. Protect the net front, all right? Protect the net front, protect the middle of the ice, and work everything out from there.
And sometimes I feel like they get so focused on closing and killing the play where it's like you should be more concerned about protecting the middle of the ice where, like I said, we saw 2 examples of it tonight that bit him in the ass.
And Verhaeghe, by the way, he scores. Basically, Florida wins in the playoffs. 25-2 in the playoffs if Verhaeghe gets a goal. So, that should be the plan going forward, right? Just get Verhaeghe a goal.
It's just the next guy stepping up, though, every time. Like Verhaeghe,
and he'd been quiet in certain games, right?
Tampa, you didn't even notice him at all. And even Tkachuk last series, maybe he was a little quiet. And then this series, that Bennett line, Tkachuk, they were so involved. I felt like they were on the score sheet every game.
Well, it's why we talked about the idea that it's almost difficult to pick a leader for Conn Smythe from this team. But if you had to, I think you'd pick Bobrovsky at this point. And Superman play of the day, it's many plays. It's all the plays. And Bobrovsky, the fact is, under all this pressure, Hank, just the level of calmness.
Yeah, I think he sets this tone in his preparations. He knows he's well prepared. He has a lot of confidence in his own game, but you also see him in warm-ups. Everything is calm. That's the approach he wants to the game. Nothing gets to him, and he was really good down the stretch here. There was a lot of shots through screens, and when you're calm, you tend to find those pucks a lot easier than when you're stressing or too tight. But he looks very calm. Benny always said, my goalie coach for years, he said, you can't play piano when your hands are straight. You need to be relaxed. What he said with the French accent. Henki, your hands need to be relaxed, Henki, when you play. And Bob looks relaxed but he's on his toes. He's always top of his toes with the gloves attacking the puck. That's why he's so good in close. It's hard for guys to beat his gloves because he's constantly attacking. And he's fun to watch, but I think it starts with his mind, the calmness he brings to his game, and that trickles down to his team.
All right, let's go back to the rink right now. Bring in Matthew Tkachuk, who had the headset on, got to listen to Henrik Lundqvist talk about goaltending and piano lessons from his goalie coach. Chucky, listen, great game, fabulous series. I want to go back to, we showed video of the last few years when Prince of Wales Trophy was up there. And that first year, you guys are an 8 seed. You barely make it into the playoffs. You go on an incredible run. You grab the trophy. Everyone celebrates. Last year, it was clear cut. That wasn't happening. This year, it felt like you guys were just obligated to take a picture. I'm wondering what goes through your head, because it feels like this was just a step.
Yeah, you said it right there. I mean, I think my first year here, it was a big accomplishment. Coming from where we were at the end of the regular season, and then barely squeaking in, and then just 3 crazy rounds on the way to winning it. Like, it was a huge accomplishment for us. Last year was part of the journey, and this year it is as well. And it's just kind of just all business for us. Like, we're here for one reason. It's obviously we're very happy with being able to win it and being able to win tonight in this game in the series, especially the way it started tonight. But all business right now for us, and we know what we're capable of, and we're not going to celebrate until we get that.
Chucky, congratulations. It's ace. I know it's all business. You're focused on getting through the Stanley Cup Final. I know you're a hockey junkie. I'm just kind of curious. Have you been keeping tabs at all in the Western Conference Final between Dallas and Edmonton?
Yeah, I think our whole team has watched pretty much every night. I know when we're on the road, spend a lot of time in our hotel lounge, so we'll watch the first few periods there, play some pool, play some poker, and then everybody's pretty much in their own rooms for the third period. But yeah, we're watching the game. It's been a good series to watch as well. Best part about being down in the Final Four is your game's on one night, they're on the other night, and you just get to always either be playing or watching hockey. So, but we're not in the Final Four anymore. We're in the Final 2, and we're very happy to be there.
Chucky, Hank here. Congrats on reaching your 3rd straight final. It's incredible. We've been talking about your team. You just every aspect of the game you master. But I want to talk about how close you are. You constantly talk about you feel like a family in that locker room, the importance of it, and you play for a lot of different teams. How would you rate this group in terms of how tight you are and how much work you put into just becoming that family?
Yeah, it's right up there. This year and last year, it's been really nothing like it. And I think what we're most proud of this year too is we're able to be back in the dance, and we have a chance to do something that very few teams in NHL history have done. And at this point, you know what it takes to win, and you want the guys that are new that haven't won before to feel that as well. That's what our excitement comes from right now. And you become a family this year. New teams, we wouldn't be in this position without the new guys that we got this year. If we would have ran back the same team as last year, we wouldn't be in this position right now. So I'm a firm believer in each year. You have your core pieces, but the additions that you make, it has helped put us over the top to this point so far, and really just want to win it for those guys especially.
Chucky, Biz here. I felt like in the first 3 games of this series, you guys really took control, but I also felt like Carolina looked like a different team in games 4 and 5. I felt like they had full control of today's game up until halfway through that second period. How do you guys have the ability to all of a sudden turn these games on a dime and all of a sudden take control? I mean, even going back to last round against the Leafs, you guys are down 3-1, 0-2 in that series, and all of a sudden something just clicks.
I think we did not play very good in the first period, but it wasn't as bad as it probably looked. The crowd is pretty loud here, and anytime they touch the puck and cross the zone, they're going crazy. So it might look like they're dominating by us, but they really weren't. And all it takes is one. I think in the second you get feeling good. The building gets a little quieter. They look a little nervous. After that one goes in, and we were able to score right away. So then it's a new game 2-2. So. I don't know. Like, they played really well the last 2 games, especially in Game 4. Like, they were really hard to play against. Did not give us anything. Made us earn every single inch of the ice, and we did not get much that game. So, got to credit to them. The last 2 games playing really well. But I don't know. Our team's just solid, and it just sometimes when it's not going our way, just get back to the basics. And the simpler we play, the more success we have.
Matthew, I want you to get back to your teammates and celebrate, but before you go, I do have to ask you, when you're playing pool and poker with the guys, who's taking everybody's money? Like, who's the shark? Who's the hustler?
I only play poker on the plane because I'm not a very reliable guy at the hotel. I might dip early. I play with Forzy. I help him out a little bit. There's a lot of table talk, which I'm sure a lot of poker games would not like. We definitely play the Florida Panthers style, the poker table. A lot of smack talk. A lot of looking at people's cards after they fold. It's a shady game. So I've been playing pool with a couple of the guys though this trip, and it's been a lot of fun. That's the highlight of it all. Like out there winning, competing, there's nothing like it. But, when the season's over and you're in the summer and you're grinding away, it's the times that you miss are, the team dinners, the hanging out in the lounge, and just being around the boys, shooting it. So that's taking full advantage of it right now.
All right, we'll get back to them. Congratulations. Thanks so much for doing this.
Thank you, guys.
Congrats, man.
Yeah, congrats.
Thanks, guys.
I mean, would it be any other way for the Florida Panthers?
Of course not.
Smack talk, shady poker.
You guys used to blue light your teammates though. If they owe you $600-700, you lower it down to $300, take care of the boys, or
I've never a poker guy.
Never?
Not at all.
Okay.
It wasn't my.
I was a movie
That
guy,
sounds
but
like
it
someone who's
happens
in the hole at some
Yeah.
point.
Oh yeah, that was me. That was
like.
Ed Jovanovski and Shane Doan and all those. I thought we were playing Go Fish, and then they're like, "No, this is 7 up, 7 down, biz. Give me your per diem pack and beat it back to the front."
All of a sudden, you're working as their butler.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the one dropping off the fillet. Exactly.
Oh man, that's fantastic. And Bones, just last word on this. Paul Maurice, we've talked about him being obviously the voice and pushing the right buttons at the right time, but the ability to have a tone for a team, but have individuals on that team, and to allow for that and to encourage it, it's something special.
Yeah, I think it starts with a great relationship between Bill Zito and Paul. He goes get players that play Paul's style. So they automatically fit into the team. And when you fit into the team style-wise, you fit into the team with the character of the team. And Paul has enough. He's been around long enough. He's coached that team long enough. He believes in the leadership. Let them be themselves. Like sometimes the worst thing we can do is get in their way. Really. Sometimes you got to know when just to back off. Let the guys have. It's a game. Let them have fun. Let them do their thing. Let them go after each other like they did in the poker games and that. But Paul has a great feel for that. But again, I think it starts with Bill and Paul working so closely together and bringing the right guys in, right? Yeah. So I go back to Seth Jones. Like he struggled big time in Chicago. I didn't think he was this good a player. I mean, I knew he was a good player. He's an elite player, the way he's playing there. So he's the perfect fit for the way Paul wants his team to play and for the way he just blended immediately into that team, and he became a much better player. So it's fun to play with great players, but they have to, the GM, the coach have to work together to identify those great players. And this is what we need, and the GM goes to get them. So good on the management, good on the coaches, and good on the Florida Panthers. Congrats to them.
A great team with two of the greatest deadline pickups, Seth Jones, Brad Marchand, and now headed back to the Stanley Cup Final. We'll be at the final.